Hello, I'm Karl. A very strange thing happened to me, which neither I nor you can explain. I don't understand how this is possible, but I came here from 2080. I've been here for 2 months now and I don't know how it happened. I'll show you the proof shortly. As I said, I'm Karl. I was born in 2050 in Vienna, Austria, and I lived there until 2074. In 2074, I moved to the Czech Republic because in Austria, the unemployment was high. You couldn't find a job. Imagine how surprising it is for me now to see what a rich country Austria is. In the 2070s, there is a totally different picture. Especially when I look at the world now, everything is 180 degrees different from what is happening in 2080. This all seems like a dream. Let me mention a few differences so that you understand how surprising all this is to me. All around is war. Watch any news program. Syria, Ukraine, Armenia, Sudan, Taiwan. War, war, war. So for you to understand what a mystery all this is for a person from the 2080s, let me just tell you that in 2080, there will be no wars in the world at all, because in 2040, the Munich Agreement was signed by all the states of the world, by which all wars were stopped and peace agreements were signed. There are also other statements in that agreement that make further escalations possible. 1. All national minorities were granted territories and founded their own states. 2. No state has the right to have its own army or heavy weapons, tanks, fighters, or even artillery. All of that has simply been destroyed. Any state just has a police force, which is well armed, but not with such weapons that would enable an attack on another state. 3. All those territories that historically belonged to one state, but were unjustly occupied by another state, were returned to the owner. 4. No country can have a state religion. Every person's faith is up to him and the state does not have any religious preferences. All of this changed the world dramatically, and it was necessary because the situation you see now, the war, the tense situation in the world, has been continuing until 2039, and everything has become very complicated. Today, I don't want to be someone who tells you stories from the future. I'm just saying all this so you get an idea of where I came from. Despite all that, I must say that the world of 2070, 2080, there was a lot of crime, mainly theft. Because in 2068, a scandalous global law was passed which made people's lives very difficult. All cryptocurrencies were banned in one day, just all of them were removed at once. All the networks where you can buy and sell, even crypto online wallets were shut down. And if you can understand what a great shock it was, let me tell you that for almost 40 years, everything was bought and sold with crypto. Even in ordinary food stores, crypto had replaced ordinary money. Can you imagine? The euro was so much depreciated that Europe refused the euro and adopted the US dollar as state currency. Later on, Asia and Africa and the Middle East did the same. But anyway, US dollar was just a formality also, because people only used crypto. You couldn't find cash money in anyone's wallet. You'd be surprised if you even found a wallet in someone's pocket. The smartphone had replaced all that. In 2059, a law was passed which defines that an apartment, a car, and similar items can be bought only in US dollar. Maybe it was done for the survival of the dollar, but as I understand, even that did not save the situation. And in 2068, that biased law was passed. And now imagine what a wave of protests arose. Almost for 3 months, there were riots, rallies, marches all over the world, which later turned into destructions. And with the help of police forces, it was silenced all over the world. People lost millions of their money, and many developed countries had slowly regressed and turned from leading countries into dens of unemployment. As I said, I was born in 2050 and all this happened during my childhood. Now, I have to be honest with you and tell you that I'm not some kind of law-abiding person who goes to work at 8 o'clock in the morning and comes home to his wife and child in the evening. Then on weekends goes out of town to cook barbecue with friends and family. All my life, I have been engaged in frauds, scams, and theft together with my friends. My childhood probably influenced me in a bad way. My transfer to the Czech Republic in 2074 was not a sudden move. To be honest, I just made a very serious scam in Austria, which brought me a lot of money. From a legal viewpoint, I was okay, but my life was threatened. Because of that scam, about 500 families were left without apartments and without the money they had saved. I won't go into much detail, but I founded a company with my friends that was building apartments. In reality, it was just a scam. We were not going to do anything. We just sold apartments to people and many unfurnished buildings with a very cheap advance payment, stating in the contract on one of the pages in the middle somewhere that if the project is canceled or not finished, the buyer cannot have any claims. As it turned out, none of those buyers even read the contract in its entirety. Well, after such a scam, it is clear why I decided to leave the country very quickly. Later, we did something similar in the Czech Republic, but unfortunately for us, it did not go so well. Despite the contract we drafted being an impeccable one, the local authorities came after us and went through very serious court cases. This time, I even tried to cheat on my friends and leave the country. I took part of my money, put it in a suitcase, $80,000. With the rest, I quickly bought a luxury villa in Sri Lanka online, then rented a plane to fly alone from the Czech Republic to Sri Lanka. By the way, let me tell you that having $80,000 in 2080 is equal to having approximately $2.5 to $3 million in 2025. Because the whole world was using only US dollars, it had appreciated a lot. And as I already said, all shopping was done with cash. Now we are coming to the most interesting and surprising part of the story. Everything was going the way I had planned. I was already on the plane. My suitcase with $80,000 I hold in one hand, a whiskey was in the other. I was flying to my new home in Sri Lanka. Then I heard some strange noises on the plane. I saw huge lightning flash outside. The weather suddenly got worse when we were already flying over the Indian Ocean. Then there was more lightning and thunder. Suddenly, I saw a bright light, and after that, I don't remember anything. The next thing I saw was how I was lying on the ground in a park. When I opened my eyes, I immediately checked to see if my suitcase was with me or not. I was lucky because I had attached it to my hand with handcuffs, and it was with me. I was very happy, but I didn't understand where I was or what had happened. The fact that my money was with me was great though, but later, when I understood where I was, it became obvious that the money I had holds no value here. As I said, I will show you proof of what I said. Here is the suitcase. Yes, it was damaged a lot during that accident, but the money is not damaged at all. Here is the money. Look at this. See the US dollars used in 2080? See how it looks like the current dollar? They're completely preserved the design of the classic dollar, only they replaced Benjamin Franklin. They began to print these dollars in 2047 with the picture of the then President of America, Jonathan McNeilson. His term was finished in 2053. It is very painful to realize that these dollars have no value now. I hope that I will be healthy in 2047, when these dollars will come into circulation, and I will then again be a rich man. On the one hand, I am happy that I appeared in 2025. Nobody's looking for me anymore. Nobody wants to kill me or arrest me. But even though I'm poor now, my older years are safe because by then, these dollars will be in circulation again and I'll be rich again. Today, my only fear is that the future that I know will change. But I hope that that is not possible.